people online. 27 people is a lot of people for some, but for us, it's still a small group. We should be at 30, 35, 40 people involved in some way or shape or form in this office or however. So we're moving toward that. Our thinking is heading us toward that. It's not yet, but I just want to make sure you're aware we're thinking about it. And we'll be letting you know in the probably next week, a little more detail as we're working it out. I'm going to wait here now for about 7 minutes and just let a couple more people jump on. And before we officially open, while we got a little time, Cheniger, what's going on? What prompts you to cut off all your hair, son?
Basically, a lot of people growing beards, and
Yeah.
I just want to
Want to be different.
Want to be different for a while, and just go low key on around, because this beard I inherited this beard,
Right.
and everybody just want to flunk it now. I'm like, I'm tired of it. I want to start something new.
I get it. I understand. You're looking good, man. And how is your wife doing?
I was doing good, but I was surprised when she saw the beard out. She said, "Man, haven't seen this face like this for a long time."
Do you guys have any plans for next steps or?
We talking about next steps. It's in the process of just discussing and making sure that we both are committed to it.
Right.
We both go into couples therapy. So we've been doing couples therapy for a while now. So we're growing into that and making sure that when the next steps comes, it's an easy transition process, instead of just jumping really away, and then at the end it doesn't work out, and there's a lot of problems in the long end.
Now that makes a lot of sense. But Chinny, how long have you guys been together now?
We've been together now for 5 years, going to 6.
Well, just so you know now, I can think of a couple of 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 marriages that I know of that didn't go nowhere close to 6 years. So you guys are already in some committed relationship. I get that, but I think the couples therapy is wise, and send our love, and we're lifting you guys up. Tony, you doing all right? You got to hit your mic now. Hit your mic.
Yeah, I'm on top of my game. I'm making contact with the gentleman. The gentleman told me bring him.
No. Slow me down. So now your work. Tell me about work.
Work going great. This company I'm at right now, I got to go to school and pass this state test to be a lawn specialist.
When are you going to take the test?
Well, they tell me I'm taking the test this Thursday.
Okay, good.
So they gave me 3 books to read. I'm at the bottom of the second book. So,
right. Come on with the third one.
Yeah, I'm going to slide into the third one, but I'm making it happen. Making it happen.
That's good, man. That's good to hear.
Yeah.
And Bradley, you're looking very relaxed. I just have to tell you, you look like you've had your chamomile tea and everything. And what's happening?
This is a smoothie. Well, bridging received the endorsement, which made us an essential function.
Right.
So starting on Monday, we are working this week from 8:30 to 3, getting everything set up. And on Monday, next Monday, we'll open the doors to start seeing clients.
Right.
And having donations. We're not going to be going out or doing deliveries. And so one of the changes that's coming by, or that I've been asked to do, is I was asked if I would be one of the shoppers. You know what that means?
No, I don't.
Okay, so when a client comes through an agency, we then bring them into the warehouse. Well, because of these restrictions, we're doing video shopping and actually shopping for them. So the clients will give me their list, and then I'll go through the warehouse and I'll identify all of the different products and the furnitures and all the different things that will then get put on trucks and they'll be shipped out to them.
Well, you know what you're going to be doing is rehearsing for a job on one of them QVC stations where you sell products.
Got sold, all right. And so
Yeah.
I'm relaxed right
No,
now.
listen. You have a good voice, speaking voice, and you look nice when you dress a little bit. So I think you should be rehearsing for the next step for yourself.
All right, then I think this is a good thing.
It is a good thing
right now because I'm still getting up at 5:30 doing the cleaning of the apartment building, going to work, coming back and cleaning them again. So right now, I'm just sitting down.
I got you. Well, but listen, James Reason has just come on. The Godfather of Soul is on, and we're glad to have him. And Dexter Harper's up there. Dex, what's going on with you, Dex?
Everything's swell, man. I just been acclimating to this new retired sort of thing, you know. And but that's going well. Just still getting my ducks in a row and going back on things that I need to, you know, may have neglected some from being basically overworked, you know. So just catching up, man.
Right. Well, hold that thought for a minute. Dexter, can you hear me? Dexter. He's working. Can you hear me, Dex?
It's good to see Dex.
Yeah, it is. He's working on his mic, so we'll just keep getting that together. I'm gonna leave. We're gonna give it about 5 minutes right here. Just pause for a minute and let a few more people come on, and then we'll start off officially in about 5 minutes. So you got a quick 5-minute break, and then we'll come back and get this thing going. I want to deal with a few things tonight that have to do with some elements to the power of people teaching. And I just want to extrapolate 4 of those elements and review them with you because I just believe in some ways we've always been working on these 4 elements, and I want to represent them to you in this time to remind you of where we think you ought to be, where we ought to be, and how we can get where we're all trying to go collectively and individually. So 5 minutes, we're going to break, and then we'll come back and get started. All right?
All right.
All right. I mean, I got on. All right.
You gotta hold it like with your thumb.
Brother Willie, we're taking a quick minute break.
You taking a what?
Quick 5-minute break. We just started it.
All right.
Waiting for more people to jump in.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm just trying to get acclimated. Oh, my main man, Dex. Oh. What's going on, Dex?
What's up, Will?
How you doing?
What up, Will? How you doing?
Oh, brother, I'm all right, man. Just
Yeah, doing great, man.
at home, man.
How you
Trying
doing?
to stay safe.
Hey, Will.
Yes, sir. Me too.
Hey, Pops. What's going on, Brad?
All right.
What's happening?
Listen, I went back to work yesterday. I'm exhausted today, so I'm just kicking down.
Oh, that's good, man. That's good.
Yes,
That's
sir.
good to be back. Hey, Dex, where you at,
Hey,
man?
what's up?
You outside? What's going on?
Yeah, we go out, come pick my baby up from work. She's still working.
Okay, all right. How she doing?
Right back in the house.
All right.
Yeah, we get right back in here. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Brad, congratulations, man. You back at work, man. That's good.
Yeah, bridging got an
Yeah.
exemption as a essential function. So we started working just 6 hours a day, and then we're going to open the doors and start servicing clients on a limited basis and allowing people to bring stuff in. Not actually going to be doing any deliveries to go into homes, but we're going to start slow, and we're starting to work. Of our almost 300 agencies, 85 of them are going active on Monday.
Okay. All right, brother James. What's up, man?
Hey,
Look at,
Will, how you
hey,
doing, man?
boy, you look like you retired, man. You
It's
look,
all good, man. Thank you. I'm
look like,
hoping to
yeah,
keep
look
on
like
looking
you
like that.
relaxing, kicking back.
Yeah, it's been relaxful, man. With no, in the evening, I can just, I'm not preparing everything for the next morning to
Right,
go somewhere. I'll prepare
right.
for whatever I got to do here.
That's
And
right.
with this all this COVID stuff, that's putting a limit on everything anyway.
Yeah, I know.
So it's been good so far, man.
Yeah, I
How
know.
you been, Will?
Oh, brother, I've been all right, man. I've been, doing what you're doing, just trying to respect uh what's going on, man. Out here, trying to be safe and everything.
Yeah.
I see traffic is starting to pick up. I see more people are starting to come out. Um, so you know, we'll see how this thing go, man. But
Well, I think it took a while for people to get on in sync with, even though if you go out safely and keep distance. And the mask suddenly became popular. I went out sometimes before, excuse me, before the mask. A lot of people were wearing masks, and people were still like walking right up on you and everything.
that's why you
And
got the mask. Yeah, yeah. That's why you got the mask.
and so, like, I was the oddball because I'm in a high risk group because of healthcare maintenance as well as age. So I was protecting myself, and people were looking at me like I'm the oddball. But it was like, protect yourself, because I can't rely on others to really protect me. So that was my design all along, and now more and more people have come on board with that same sort of thing. When you go out, you'll see a lot of people wearing the mask now. Some people using the gloves, and now they've got, on a lot of the retail centers, they got distance markers at the cash registers where they only want people, to keep them 6 feet apart. So that took a long time for those sort of things to ever even happen, man. But this national death toll, give me a break, man.
Yeah, I know. And I think the media is playing games too, man. And
Think
and I
so?
think that's one of the reasons why we starting to see an increase of people go out, because the media is playing. They playing politics, and they subtly and racial politics. And so this is my theory on this thing. Okay, so it started off in China, right? Wuhan. Okay, it was an issue over there. They jump on it, right? Get it
Yeah.
under control over there, but then it hits Europe, right? It hits Europe. Okay, so now it has so now to the world, anybody can get it. Okay, now when it hit Europe, right, some black people in the cities were spreading a rumor that black folks couldn't get it.
Ah,
Okay,
get
now
this.
look, so now it hits Europe, okay, and then it bounces from Europe and it hits the United States, right?
Right.
Now, when it hits the United States, first the word was that, you know what, the elderly are the ones who are at risk, most at risk, and 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 that's all that's dying. But then, slowly but surely, numbers and statistics start to come out from the city, showing that it's disproportionately uh, that that black folks are being disproportionately killed.
Yeah.
Right, right. Okay, so now, um, so now the media focuses on that, and that becomes like, okay, subtly propagating that, okay, you know what, really, if you're not old, really, only ones is really killing, really, honestly, is black folks. Now,
Yeah.
that's not necessarily true. We know disproportionately we
Oh,
are
for
being
sure, that's
affected
not
by it,
necessarily true.
but
Especially when you look at those total national figures,
right,
that could not be complete, diverse
right,
populations, man.
right. But but
Hey, hey,
but
Pop guy.
but that has been the spin. So now what I think is happening, because they pushing this spin, I think more white Americans are now feeling more comfortable with going out. So now
Yeah.
I've been going to the stores and I've been seeing a huge increase now, right? And folks, predominantly white Americans now, who are starting to come back out, and
Yeah.
I think that's a mistake, but the media is playing games.
Well, uh, anybody that buys into, these big bulk national figures and the state by state figures being uh they're skewed as far as the ratio, but the sheer number, hell, some of those states that are reporting some of those sheer numbers, man, that can't be like all diverse populations. There's some Caucasians definitely in there.
No
And
question.
the thing about it, like I looked at, I think between yesterday and the day before, the Minnesota rate of death to accumulate numbers double
Yes.
along with the numbers in 24 hours.
And
So
guess
it's
what
showing this
else?
whole thing can get ahead of steam. That seeing that we can't see it, we can't understand what direction it's going to take. We can't know who the next individuals are. It seems
Right.
like everybody should be trying to take care of themselves, as well as uh, along with that. That if that's the design, then everybody's safer. But the more people that put themselves at risk, the more people that are going to be at risk.
No
And
question.
so the big question is, in a lot of minds, do dollars count or earnings count more than health or life? Because some people are saying they've got to earn right now, but some of those same people in numbers, if they go into uh, areas where they're allowed to earn without safety precautions, it's not. It don't take rocket science to understand that they're going to be some of the next ones infected.
And
In
I think
number.
and I think that's the key. If we feel compelled to get back there and earn and work, then we have an obligation to be as safe as we possibly can, not just for ourselves, but for our neighbor too, because we don't want to affect nobody else. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
It's a
So
two-way
when you
street.
put your mask on, you're not putting your mask on for you. You're putting your mask on to protect somebody else. So in case you have it, you don't spread it to somebody else, because we do
True.
have a vulnerable population out there. You know what I'm saying?
Same thing with the distance thing.
Yep.
Others shouldn't be pushing up on you, and you shouldn't be pushing up on others. It's a
Yeah.
two-way street.
Yeah. Yeah. So so I get it. If you feel compelled, you got to work. because the bills ain't waiting on no one, right? If no one is helping you pay your bill and there is no compassion from your billers, and you have to get out there and work, right? So be it. We got to do what we got to do, right? But we need to take every precaution possible as to respect ourselves and our neighbors.
Well,
You know,
hey, look, I'm gonna jump in here, because we're gonna kind of this COVID thing. Boy, we could talk about this stuff all night. I want to try to move around a little bit. To Will's point is well taken. Up here in Minnesota, I just want to make this quick point. Right now, the nursing home population, I don't care who you are, if you live in a nursing home right now, you're beyond high risk. I mean, beyond it. And Curtis Harris is in a nursing home. Now, the nursing home, he's in the Northridge Nursing Home in New Hope. Now, there's another nursing home about 8 or 12 blocks away from him. They had 12 people die a day for the last 2 days, right
setting the
down
record.
12 blocks from him. So I haven't been able to get any information. I've been there twice. I can't get in the door. I mean, the place is sealed off.
Right.
And so if anybody knows how to get his daughter, we need help because we're not able to get in, man. And I'm really frustrated by it because I love Curtis, and I wouldn't know what to do if somehow this thing would happen to him while he was in the nursing home and while he's in recovery. I don't know if he had a stroke. One time I called there and they said that he was in therapy. Well, that kind of denotes itself to a stroke or something. You're trying to come back from something. But that's the only information I was anytime able to get. Chris Owsley's on, and Curtis is at risk. And it's nursing home folks. If you got a family member who you was thinking about sending to the nursing home, don't go.
Woo.
What is that? What is that?
So we're gonna get started now, if you don't mind, and we're gonna start off with the acts of faith. And Anna, you want to read it from me? Are you on? Yeah, I'm gonna have Anna. Hey, Chris Owsley, how you doing, sir?
I'm pretty good, pretty good.
Yeah, thanks for checking in. We're gonna have the acts of faith read here by Ananiah Israel in a minute, and then we're gonna get into it. I want everybody to respond to the acts of faith. Everybody who's on, even those who are on the telephone. Tim, are you on the telephone? I guess not. Give Tim a call. Okay. See if he can get on. Duval and Kimbro and them, are y'all on? Kimbro, they said Kimbro's on, but I don't see nothing or hear nothing. Anna, you got the acts of faith? We're going to go ahead and start. We're going to start with the acts of faith. Read by Anna Israel.
April 28th, acts of faith. You can't solve the problem. Excuse me. I can't solve the problem because I don't know what it is. Does it ever seem that as soon as I solve one crisis, another one pops up? What about the way I think about the challenges in my life? Do I think it's money or a lack of it? When I get the money together, the kids or maybe the spouse act up. As soon as they calm down, it's the job or the car or the pipes in the basement. I can spend a better part of my life putting out little brush fires with my tea kettle without ever realizing there's a forest fire burning in my life. But now I should have realized, excuse me, by now I should have realized I cannot solve the problems in my life. No matter how hard I try, I cannot do it. Want to know why? It is because I think I am in control when I really ain't.
I'm not.
When I really aren't. When I really ain't.
Mm-hmm.
There is a divine source, a powerful source, a perfect order that controls everything. When I recognize it, acknowledge it, and surrender to it, I won't have to struggle to solve problems. There won't be any. The universe will perfect.
Perfect.
Oh, excuse me. The universe will perfect that which concerns me when I surrender control.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah.
So sorry for that. Um, so we got the acts of faith there. Does anybody have a reaction to that at all?
I'd like to go first.
Go ahead.
It I've been getting into a Bible study group from the church I go to, and one of the most recent topics that we had is that our prayers should not be directly towards a non-problematic environment, but rather than that, we should be praying for the strength and the patience and the intelligence to be able to get through problems.
Right.
And that's directly related to the way Ananias mentioned. Problems are always going to exist, but like they say, only the strong survive these problematic environments, and are able, and others should be learning from those people what type of attributes it takes to get through a problematic situation. Because, like Ananias said in the reading, the next problem it's there. It's gonna rear its ugly head.
Right. That's a good point. That's a real good point. Somebody else jump in.
Well,
Hey, this is Eric Washington.
Go ahead, Eric.
Listen, I remember a time when I was getting high when everything was a problem, and I couldn't get myself out of wet bag. But since I've been released from prison, I took all the, like I said in my interview with Pierre, when I finally slowed down enough to realize I was my own freaking problem, and I needed to do things differently, started learning things that I knew already. Problems aren't that serious to me. I just deal with whatever the issue is. And I realized the way to deal with everything. And a lot of times I don't got to get excited and go get high to deal with something. Now, for instance, all this stuff that's going on there, my home is peaceful. I don't worry about all that stuff. I'm careful and I'm concerned, but I can't worry about it because I'm not in control of that. But I am in control of trying to keep the people under my umbrella.
Boy, that's wise. That's wise counsel right there, brother. That's real wise. And boy, I'm just privileged to be around, to be a witness to the wisdom that you're sharing with us tonight, man. It's powerful. Somebody else go.
I got some feedback on that. I kind of when he spoke about how I'm not in control, I took control of my situation. The lifestyle that I had when I went to prison, and I made a decision to myself and said, if I continue with the lifestyle that I have, I'm gonna grow old in here. So I made the decision to, when I departed from them Desmos cribs, that I'm taking control of my life and I'm gonna change in a total, complete different manner.
Right.
And that's exactly what I did. I changed my people, places, and things. I networked with the group, and it paid off for the better.
Right.
So I took control of all the situations that I'm in.
And let me just explain that. That's a good point. Even though you took control of your situation, you are out of control of the larger elements. And that's kind of what the reading is talking about, these larger elements. And then it makes it a double whammy when you don't have control of your life and you don't also have control of the larger issues that are taking place. Yes, you're right, Tony. It's necessary for us to take control of those things that are within our power. But the reading is probably talking about the things that are really outside of our realm, like like the virus or something, some of these kinds of things. In some cases, there are things that are out of our control that we can't solve, at least not right now. But that doesn't mean that we don't solve the things that we can. But I congratulate you, man, for saying goodbye to drugs and alcohol, because obviously you realized at some point, if you didn't say goodbye to them, that we was going to say goodbye to you.
Big time. Y'all never would have met me.
Right, right. And there's a
Hey,
old
Bob, this is
gospel,
Dougie Fresh.
song that says, "I never would have made it." You know what I mean?
Right.
And so, see, you tapped into that power that's outside of you and pulled it into you to give you a measure of control over your operational environment. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does, brother. You couldn't have phrased it no better. Thank you.
Yeah, and I'm so grateful for that. Somebody else jump in.
I'll go.
This is Mike.
Mike Liddell, go ahead.
I see, I'm reading this and I see the word surrender.
Yes.
And for me, I have to do that every day. And just walk with faith with God and what He wants me to do. It has led me down an awesome path to serve other men, to get houses together. Maybe 6 or 8 months ago, I would never imagine that I'd be in this spot. So I really like reading the word surrender, because some people you just do it once, but I find that I need to do it every day, and give it away every day. So that's what I got.
Brother, that was powerful. I agree. I think I have that issue as well. I have to turn it over and recognize every day that there's somebody out here bigger than me, and I need to get in line with my own thinking, so I don't get in my own way. So, and I hear you, and even still, Michael, I still do get in my own way at times, and it's very frustrating. Owsley, what you got down there in Madison, Milwaukee? What you got?
I came to the revelation and understanding that problems going to occur. So it depends on how you adjust to I adjust to the situation.
Right.
And I learned that that's the big issue with me, because I used to always react the way I wanted to react, and it didn't come out too good. So I taking to see what's going to go on in the whole.
Right.
Just upon instead of just thinking or see what's
Chris,
my options.
Hey Chris, now tell me, are you still working your job or shopping? You still shopping down there?
Yes.
Good. It looks like next month. I mean, not next. Yes, early next month. Some parts of Wisconsin are going to open up. I think around the 4th of May. What are your plans for your next step for employment down there?
Oh, I'm still gonna get my CDLs and do my trucking thing. So I have it all set up for me to go for my brother's wife on a trunking company, and they're already ready for. As soon as I get my CDLs, they say I'll come right there and start running.
Right. Wow, that's good. Now, are they there in Madison or somewhere else?
Milwaukee.
And so, where would you go for the training?
I'm going for the training. They have a training program I'm going to up here. Remember, I set up already.
Oh, you already set up. And so when does that start? Is it a timeline, or are they waiting for the thing to open up?
They're waiting for it to open up.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm sorry. That's good, man. Give Owsley a little hand right there. He's trying to pull himself together. And boy, that's good. He's a free man. He's off parole. And Chris, I want you to count yourself on the census and register to vote. Your vote is going to be important down there in Madison. So make sure you're registered to vote.
Yeah, I have to figure out how to do it because I registered to vote already when I was there. Now I have to
Right.
switch it over to here.
It's no problem. You just get a registration form and refill it out and submit it. Don't wait till the last minute though, man. All right.
Okay. Yeah.
Calvin Washington, I think, is on from down in the dirty South. Calvin, are you there?
Yeah, I'm with y'all, brother.
Hey, man, give Calvin some love, y'all, down there in the dirty.
Yeah.
He's down there in the dirty South.
Right. But you know, Pop, I'm listening to all us, bro. I'm hearing y'all. I'm feeling y'all. And my thing is that, you know, this thing is bigger than us. It's bigger than the whole world because it's a feeling that we got to start looking at, that God wants us to get our attention over to Him and recognize that. I was reading something in my daily reading the other day. He said, if my people would come to me and just worship me more, you understand? And all this stuff is in the Bible, man. We're going to go through this. This is another part of life that happened many years ago that's telling us right now it's time for us to make a change. And I'm glad that I'm in a position, man, that God's showing me by setting me down here, setting me down, telling me to be still. I got something for you to do. Who knows? I don't know which way and how I'm doing it, but I am changing over to that other man.
Well, let me
You know,
hold
and
you right there. But now, look, Cal, this is so important now, and what you're saying, I'm so glad that we're able to reach out, man, and have you there from the dirty South, and that you kind of falling back to that virus thing. I'm gonna try to hold off the virus thing for a little bit so that we don't get, we're not evaluating our individual place in life outside of the virus. We're not going to allow the virus to
no,
necessarily be all that it is for us to deal with. Just listen. And so but I love what you're doing. I love that you're standing on your ground down there. And let me answer me this question. Are you in your sister's house? Yes or no?
yeah.
Good. So you got a roof over your head and you're good.
Right.
So Cal, I'm gonna move around a bit and then I'm gonna come back to you. I want to share these things with y'all tonight that talk about the major psychological challenges that we have to face in order for us to be successful. There are 4 major challenges. I want you to write them down. Get yourself a piece of paper and a pencil, and
Okay.
so I want you to write these down as I get ready to get to them. But I'm still going through what people got from the reading. Will, what did you get from the reading?
Well, Pops, I just, in reflecting on my life, it's taught me that, that if I just focus on the things that I can control, it will help me avoid a lot of the things that I can't.
Right. That's good.
And those things that I can't that still arise by me focusing on living a good life and that is strengthening in my ears I'm better able to handle the good the bad news, you know what I'm saying,
Yes.
and when it comes, you know what I'm saying,
Oh, I do.
because I'm striving to be upright, you know what I'm saying, so yeah, man, I just focus on what I can control, Pops. And man, I'm trying to stay focused on living this good life. So when the rain do come, I'm
Come on
prepared
now.
to deal with it.
Come on, Doc. I feel you. And there
Yeah.
goes Lewis Williams is on now. Lewis is in his second week of returning from prison. Just returned from Faribault prison, and we just got out last week. And then Larry, are you on? Larry Harris? Look like both Larry Harris and Lewis Williams will be working sometime at the end of this week. Can y'all give Larry and them guys a hand? Can y'all lift them up? Because even in the COVID-19, 19 and 20, we're still able to find employment for our guys. And I want to give Tierra Caldwell a lot of credit there. He was relentless in helping these guys find ID in a COVID-20 world where ID is hard to come by. If you don't come out with it, it's tough to find. So these guys are going to be working as of next week, and I love that. Let me do this, Bradley. I want you to chime in on that reading. Can you do that?
I can. Here's my position. I created the fires. I thought it was my plan. And when I figured out I didn't need to create the fires, I needed to follow the plan that God had put in place for me, things eased out. I didn't need to create the chaos to solve the problem.
Boy.
All right? And so for me, my plan didn't work. I stopped creating the fire.
Right.
So I'm on God's plan.
That's right.
And the only fire I need to be concerned about is the things that he puts before me.
You know, I'm going to tell you something, Bradley. Man, you're getting healthier and healthier. I can just feel you're lighter. Your energy is lighter. You're not carrying as much weight anymore. It shows on your face, and I can hear it in your testimony. Now, just honor that truth about yourself. Don't look for yourself in yesterday. If you can maintain what you have right now, man, you're going to be fine, because I can feel the spirit operating in who you are right now, and I love that. Do not surrender that.
Pops, at the end of the day, the person I need to be concerned about is me.
Mm-hmm. And as Will indicated, if you take care of the things that you're able to take care of, these other things will fall in place without you concerning yourself with them.
That's all I need, me, and to have a faith in myself.
That's
and I
good.
have faith in myself.
I see Duval is on there. Duval, can you hear me?
Hey, Pops, it's Dougie Fresh.
Hold up, Doug. Let me see if I can get Duval to say something. Duval, you got to push your microphone on. I'm going to wait for them while Duval's trying to work on that. Doug, you go.
Yeah, here I go right here, Pops.
Hold up, Duval. Doug, you go.
I was going to add on to what Willie said and what Brad said. I mean, it all, it's simple in the form that it's the sobriety prayer. It's take care of the things that that we need to take care of, and the ability to take care of, the courage to do it. Let the things that that we can't control eat us up, because it'll tear us down and it'll make us go back to the dark side. And so I think that being there for each other in the podcast group is a huge positivity for all of us, that we're not in this alone, and we can do this. And whenever we think that we're lost or stuck in a corner or something, it's not a weakness to call on a brother to get their perspective. And with whoever's thinking that you might go to, we'll have a simple plan for you, rather than you stuck in your ways where you might make a bad decision or you backtrack. And so I think staying connected is so huge.
And Doug, you're talking right now about a psychological strength that we're going to get into just here in a little bit. I love to hear you talk so clear. Your thinking there is so clear, and I appreciate that. Duval, are you on now?
Yes, I hear you, Pops.
Okay, and so what's going on with you?
Well, I'm dealing with a little thing at my job. One of the guys had just caught the virus, so we dealing with that part alone. And
how did you all come to know that?
Well, one of the guys had called off sick, and we gave him a 2-week thing, so he went out to the doctor, and they told me he had it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So we dealing with that part. We ain't got all the other stuff to it, but we getting down to it. We've been I taking everybody's temperature on the forehead side.
Right.
You know, and like most everybody was all right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's excellent. You know, I'm sorry to hear that about your brother.
Calculation has been completed.
But at the same time, I think taking those precautions of fever, I think they're saying the temperature over 100 or even 99 point something is considered high, and then they want you to go home or this or that, and I think that's, you know, sometimes at 99 you might think, well, I'm not sick, I can make it.
Right.
But the truth of the matter is, it's warm, and whatever that is, you might have to take it on home. It's a hard thing, but we just got to live with it. By the time we have group again, we will be taking temperatures at the door. And I'll talk about that more in a minute. Duval, you're there with Kimbro. Put Kimbro on.
Yes, sir.
Kimbro,
right
what's
here.
going on?
Well, I'm maintaining the job. I'm working and trying to keep my health together at the same time.
Okay.
I had a few problems with breathing with my respiratory system.
Right.
And
are you wearing a
I
mask
got my medicine. Huh?
Do you wear a mask on the job?
I sure do.
Good.
And it's just thankful that they got some more spray so we can disinfect things and some sanitizer. And they give us a new mask every day.
Okay, good. Hey, Duval, bring us some of the masks, man.
Say no more. I got it.
And put Lou on.
Lou.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah, man. Lewis, give us a report on you. Give us a Lewis update.
Well, I got released from prison last Monday. I've been now trying to get everything back together. I did 7.5 years, so now I'm home. I'm at the Pop House by the grace of God. They've been giving me ample opportunity to get my life back in order as far as housing and employment. My brother T been taking me around to get my ID, get all the things I need to get myself back together. So I'm just grateful that I'm put in this position to get my life back in order. And I start my job on Friday, so I'm very excited about that at Second Chance. So in this past 9 days, I've been wow, I just can't explain. I'm overwhelmed by it, man. Just by the grace of God, man. I was able to put all these pieces together with the power from my pop guys holding me down and keeping me committed. And I'm very grateful and I'm very thankful for the opportunity to just come out, reinventing myself, and become a better, productive, positive person in the community than I was before I went in. And I'm gonna keep pushing forward. I'm gonna keep doing what's planned for me. I'm gonna roll in college next month, and I'm gonna keep driving the ball.
Yeah, that's excellent. Chris Austin, you might have to cut your mic off, Chris, because we can hear you over at the fast food place. You know what I mean? Look right here. That was so powerful. What you just said about reinventing yourself. That is a psychological strength.
Right.
Now, I'm gonna stop there for a minute. I hope you got a pencil, a piece of paper and a pencil, because all the time that we have been together, from way back in 2004 or 5 when we started POP in the prison, we have always been working on these 4 psychological strengths. There's 4 psychological strengths that you must have in order for you to be your best possible self. 4 psychological strengths. And I'm going to tell you what they are, and then I'm going to go back and talk briefly about each one of those 4 psychological strengths. The first psychological strength is identity. Identity. Say identity.
Identity.
Right. What Lewis was just talking about was recreating a new identity. That is a psychological strength. You've always had the power. Every one of us, Bradley, have always had the power, TX, to create a new psychological identity. But when we stay so rooted in the street life, Dexter, it becomes impossible or the drug life, it becomes impossible for us to realize that we have psychological strength and power, personal power enough to create a new identity. Identity, if you're a psychologist or a psychiatrist, identity wants to ask you a question: who am I? And that's what you have to ask her. Who are you? And I'm thinking about one of our pop sons right now. I'm not going to call his name, but I'm real concerned about him. I'm using him as an example of identity. We got one of our pop sons who had come home not long ago and moved into the pop house. The first few weeks he was doing fine, but slowly he started to exhibit some different behaviors. And in these different behaviors, we started meeting someone we didn't know. We knew the guy who was in prison, but this new person was creating something we didn't know. This was the person who he was before prison. Some people are their best self when they're in prison.
Bad.
Now watch this. Watch this. That should never be the case, but for some it is the case. Now watch. Identity. Who am I? Where am I going? How am I going to get there? And what is important to me? Who am I? Say that with me. Who am I?
Who am I?
Who am I?
Where am I going?
Where am I going?
Where am I going?
How am I going to get there?
How am I
going to get there?
And what is really important to me?
What is really important to me?
Right. So for instance, when this gentleman who I'm talking about, we're really concerned about him. This gentleman had met a young lady. That's nice. We like that, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But it looked like once he met the young lady, that he began to transfer who he was over to who the young lady was.
Mm.
And in his living from day to day, it became more apparent that he was living for the young lady and no longer living for himself.
No, I get it.
What we was trying to say there is son, you have lost your identity. And when you lose your identity, you feel some kind of way about that inside. It gives you permission to use alcohol or drugs because it keeps you, Franco, from having to answer the question, who am I? If you know you've given away your I amness to someone else, you can't let them know, but you know yourself. And you begin to drink and use to pump yourself up on the inside for something that you're doing on the outside. I'm going to wait for all the amen. Watch this. You will quickly lose where you're going. Now, most of us, not all, but most of us are still on parole. Sometimes when you lose your identity, you will forget that, wait a minute, I have a contract that I haven't fulfilled yet called parole. And that contract is, there's a requirement of you to fulfill that contract. For right now, that is number one. Say number one.
Number one.
Number one.
Fulfilling your parole and probation contract is number one. Your personal relationship is important, but has to come just under that relationship. Fulfilling your parole requirements is number one.
That was the other way.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay, watch this. So what ends up happening was with the young lady, They began to party a little bit, have some fun, you know, drink a little bit. And we've been saying to our good brother, if you don't look out, son, that lady is going to put you out. Now, he's already out of the pop house. And just the other day, we hear that the lady put him out. Now, in his situation, he's on parole with a SO, and anybody who has an SO and no address is at risk. Is that clear?
Yep.
And so you see how this thing for him is spiraling out of control. So he calls me. He calls me and says, "Pa." Everybody say that. Oh, say it real loud. "Pa." Yeah. That's how he said it. That's how he said it. "Pa." He said, "Look, I need hey, Pop, I need to move back. I got to come back. I ain't got no place. I got no place to go. I ain't got no place." Wow.
Long as I get this.
Well, watch this. But what I really want to help him, man. So listen, I called some of my friends over at Turning Point, and I asked if they were taking people even under COVID-20. And they said, "Well, we're being choosy about them, but if you have somebody, Brother Shane, send them on this day at 10 o'clock a.m." Well, I then got back on the horn with the guy and said, "Listen, man, if you would go to treatment and graduate from it, I would consider taking you back." And you know what? That boy got offended with me.
That's
Listen,
because he lost his identity.
no, but you know, see, when you in a dope fiend behavior, now remember when you was in dope fiend behavior.
Right.
And you wanted something and somebody wouldn't give it to you.
Get an attitude.
Oh, wait a minute. At least the attitude, you might have just ended up taking what it was and run out the door.
Yep.
Some of y'all, I think I'm talking to the wrong group right here.
No, I feel you, Pop. I feel you.
Yeah.
So how does Dr. Light out somebody's head?
So, but see, so what the struggle is in these 4 psychological strengths. What has happened to our pop son here is he has lost track of the number 1 psychological strength that you must have to get to the good life. The number 1 psychological strength that you must have to ever find the good life. The number 1 psychological strength that you must be clear about, Chenny, if you ever want to live a good life, is who am I? Where am I going? How am I going to get there? And what is important to me? If family is important to you, then you have to prioritize that. If your personal relationship is important, then you can't be flirting around with everything. At some point, you realize you can't hit everything and still make somebody think that they're important to you. That's a lie from hell.
Straight up.
And so I want you to recognize this as an important psychological strength. Now, maybe none of you need this, but just in case you do, make a tape of it and take notes and file it away for some time when you do need it and go back and refer to this. We're talking tonight about the 4 psychological strengths that you must have in order for you to think about and consider living a good life. Number 2. So say number 2.
Number 2.
The second psychological strength that you must have is intimacy. Say intimacy.
Intimacy.
Now, right there, I'm not talking about sex. I'm talking about having an intimate, trusting relationship with someone that you can talk to and you can be honest with. Partially, the pop group in prison and outside, one of the things it was providing for you, you didn't realize it, is that it was providing intimacy. We were able to have some conversations, mano a mano, man to man conversations about some real things that caused us to have intimate relationship. I'm telling you, that intimate relationship is important. Sometimes what'll happen with me is sometimes when one of my pop sons is feels guilty about something, instead of talking to me about it, he will try to duck me. But he might talk to you. And I want that. That's why we're big like we are. Because if you can't talk to me or you feel ashamed because I represent some kind of an authority figure, and you may have a mental block about authority in some ways that isn't on me or on you, but just some kind of a block you had from your childhood, you still have other men who are in group who you can talk to in an intimate kind of way. And that intimate conversation will cause you to get a revelation about something that you couldn't get if you were just doing your own thinking by yourself. You don't hear nobody.
Right.
Hey, amen. I definitely understand what you're saying, Pops.
It's important for us to have these intimate relationships. Is Pat Nunn on the phone?
I am, Pops. I'm here.
Pat and I, we have an intimate relationship. And even though he don't always want to check in with me right at the time, or he's getting better about it than he used to. But because we have this intimate relationship, let me tell you what I mean by that. He knows 100% that I'm not trying to hurt him. Let me say it another way. He knows that I'm always going to be an adder to him. Will knows I'm always going to be an adder or a multiplier to him. Others of you know that I'm always going to be an adder, that you know it in your heart, that I'm always going to be an adder and a multiplier to you. And so because of that, we can have some talks and some good exchange will come out of those talks because we're being intimate man to man, that we're sharing things with one another. Lewis and I, the other day, we had to have an intimate conversation, man-to-man conversation. And these are the kind of things that grow us up. Now, today, Patrick called me with some information. And Patrick, I want you to share that information with the group.
Okay. And, first I just want to say that, yes, Pops, definitely what you was just saying is all the way true. And, time and time again, the intimacy has proven itself, especially when I didn't want to say something. Either my wife has let me know to say something, or, I've just kind of worked my way to not, feeling the way that I was feeling, and so decided to feel.
Right.
But today, my sister let me know that my father passed last night. And he was dealing with some cancer. And it was, something that he didn't let us know what was going on. And, it was a situation that he was dealing with. And the doctor, he kind of got it out of the doctor because the doctor let her know that he thought my father would have shared it with us, but he just didn't know the
secret keepings that my family had. You know, and you know, I dealt with this with my mom when she passed. Um, so it's kind of, you know, it's kind of like me dealing with it all over again. But I let Pops know that the support that I realize that I have is what's keeping me sane. You know, it's not like it doesn't hurt, because it hurts.
Right.
Oh, it
That's
hurts.
right. That's right.
You know, but I'm okay to deal with it and to express how I feel. Because you know, it's not only me that's involved. You know, I have other estranged siblings, but we have been mending, and not mending, but putting together our relationship, brother sister relationship. So I thank God for my sister that has, you know, been trying to keep us informed, because she's right there in the heart of it. They're right there, and so I get it. They are the younger babies of the you know, father daughter, you know what I'm saying, son relationship. So I get it, you know.
And you know what I want to, if Patrick, if I hope you don't mind, I want to use that what you just shared to make one of our the earlier point of identity. So what Patrick is saying, that his father moved around a little bit, and his family members are spread out in different locations, and sometimes when your people are spread out, that works on your own identity, your own grip on reality where your identity is concerned. You understand, Patrick?
Yep.
And each one of y'all are dealing with it in a different kind of a way, because of your intimate relationship or not with your father. Now, it's still your father, but you may not have had in the last years an intimate relationship with him where you all can have the kind of talks and conversations where through those conversations he might have helped you understand more about who you are. Because identity is critical for anybody who's trying to have a good life. And intimacy is important in supporting that relationship with yourself. Does that make sense to people?
Yes, it does.
Right. I'm going to give
I need to check in,
Chinny,
Pop.
share with you. Chinny, you know what? Ever since you've been coming to group about the last 2 years, you always talk to us about your father. Every time something comes up, you will bring up your father. And everybody online knows this. You will bring up your father. And the reason why you bring up your father is because, unlike myself and a few of the rest of us, you had an intimate relationship with your dad. And that intimate relationship with your dad helped you know some things about who you are that are right now getting you to where you might want to go. And this is something that we got to grapple with and wrestle with when we do have or don't have our sibling or our fathers telling us the intimate things we need to know about ourselves that help us get to the next level. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yes.
Yes, Pop, and I just want to check in here too, because I was listening and I feel what my brother was talking about, because I was in the same route when I came to this country as a kid. My dad and myself did not have a very intimate relationship. We have to build on that. So and it took us a while to build on that, because I did not know him. I did not know him as a kid.
Right.
When I was born.
Right.
So that intimate relationship was not there until I came here. So I had to start from the grassroots of being angry at him for not being around when I was younger enough to be there for me. But then when I came here, I understand. I was still angry, but those intimate relationship grows more as I got older, and I put myself in his shoes and see how he walked.
Right.
And then that makes me understand that his reason of doing things is not to hurt me, but it's in that to protect me.
Right.
So those intimate relationships build on. And yes, we all need those people in our life for that intimate relationship.
Well, see, that's excellent. Now I want you to think right now, everybody who's online, I want you to think about if you had a father in your life who was able to speak into your life in a way that was helpful to you. I'm gonna go around and let everybody answer that question. If you had a father at all, and did you have a father who spoke positive things into your life to let you know a little bit about yourself? Anybody who wants to start it. Chinny just went. Somebody else go.
My dad was there, but he didn't talk a lot. But what I want you all to know is that he modeled some behaviors that were exemplary, what they call, positive, and I can't even say the word exemplary or something like that.
Exemplary.
Yeah, exemplary. And if I didn't follow on those behaviors, he let me know right away that I was out of line.
Right.
Then something happened along the way. He never hesitated to give me things that enabled me to have some sort of edge on life. But he just wasn't a talker.
Right.
But in his last days, I was at the hospital with him, and he let me know in very few words what he thought about me and what I needed to do because of what he perceived as my identity.
Wow.
On his deathbed, he said, "You don't need to see any more of this. Go home and be with your family."
Right.
And that was it was sort of it was his truth, and one of the few times that he took time to sensibly speak to me, but in so few words he said so much. He saw me as a family man and a provider and somebody that needed to be with that group, and that's where he told me to go. And
Right.
that's why. So
Right.
sometimes others have some positive identity information for us, even though they may not be forthcoming with it, that lets you know that you've done something right in their
Right.
eyes.
Well, let me stop you right there. But
Yeah.
what you said that I like is that he was able to model some behavior that you knew was the right behavior, and that whether he verbalized it or not, he gave you a visual understanding of what that behavior was, and that has had an impact on you.
Oh, very much so.
Somebody else go. Bradley, you go.
I'm here. Hang on. The most important person in my life was my father.
Did you give it a step?
And when I went away, he was the only contact that I had with my family. He never left. He never stepped down. He continued to tell me all the way through my experience as a kid and through prison that I was important to him.
Wow.
And never gave up. And even in his days, as you know, he died last January of 2018, just as I got out. And he did everything in his power to let me know that I was valuable to him. And so we were very intimate together. And as I told you, my legacy is to leave something important for my children, but also to make my father proud.
That's excellent. And man, that's so beautiful, Bradley. I mean, I wish I had that testimony. I don't, but that's beautiful to hear from you. And later, as time goes by, I got a feeling that
How are you today?
those efforts are going to mean more and show up more in who you are. Let's keep moving. Franco, what about you?
I'm on the line, Pop.
Relationship with your father?
Well, without a father, well, when my father wasn't, he was, chemically dependent. He was physically abusive, and so my house was run like a dictatorship instead of a household. So the next person in line that I got to look up to my older brother, and
Your mic is going in and out. Yeah, but you know what Frankie was saying, man, that's so beautiful and so powerful what he's saying, because Franco in his time in the institution went to jail for the same thing, the same behavior he just described in his father. So what about you, Tony?
Well, I pretty much, my father left when I was 3 years old.
Right.
So, far as I know about the gentleman is that he always had a job, but we never had an intimate relationship. He gave me one piece of advice before I went to prison, and I kind of, if I had took that advice, I might have had the same relation that I had. But God, my grandfather was the one that I looked at as a role model, as a father figure. And you know what? Now my stepfather was on point strong. Him and my mother was together for 30 years. And I watched this dude for 30 years work dirty every day, truck driving, dirty every day. And I kind of idolized him as the father figure,
Right.
So I somewhat have had it, but it's nothing like the real deal of the intimacy with the father. I never had it with the father.
That's a good point. And somebody is got too much noise going on in your background, and it's disturbing the conversation. And I wish you would just mute your mic when you're having outside talking. Man, that was so important. I'm glad you. I don't know when the last time is that you had a chance to say that what you just said, and it's important for you to have a space where you can let that stuff out at, man. And that's important. And it's a hurting thing, man. When when I look around right now, my younger kids, my sister that jumped on with the tech lady from over at her place. That's good. Listen, when I was a young man, I didn't have a relationship with my father at all. You know what I mean? Nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I didn't end up having a relationship with my father till much later in his life, when I had went to my heavenly father for some intimacy, and then I could forgive my biological father for abandoning me.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? And while I didn't have that, I picked up a lot of things from some other brothers who weren't my father, and I picked those pieces up and called them mine, even though later I found out those pieces weren't mine. And then Louis, I was able to set them down.
Right.
Will, what you got?
Well, I was thinking about that, and so now a big part of when I was growing up, my father was in prison. Okay. And we didn't have a whole lot of time before I went to prison.
Right.
Okay. But one of the things, though, he did teach me about was courage. And I remember talking to him one time about, I was asking him, was he in a situation that he was ever scared of,
Right.
And what he told me always stayed with me. He said that, being scared in life doesn't help you to avoid the things that you're scared of.
That's deep.
He said, so if you're going to face those things, you have a better chance of winning if you face them with courage.
Wow.
And it always stuck with me, Pops. It always stuck with me. It's been situations where I was scared.
Yeah.
But I never let my fear prevent me from attacking the thing head on, right?
Right.
I always just dived into it, whether I was scared or not, right? I always go into it understanding that if I approach it with courage, it'll free my mind to at least be able to think of possible ways of, winning or resolving it or just giving me the best shot I got.
Exactly. Man, that's a powerful testimony. And it just goes to show you how a word from your father, even in limited amounts, a word from your father has a way of following you on through your life and maybe even into the lives of the children you have. One of the things that I would say, Will, your father in another situation, it may be said that his leadership skill was so natural that in another situation, he could have been a bank president or a bank manager or something like this who was able to move pieces and control spaces. It could be said that, but however, if we look back at his father and the condition that his father was in, it would explain probably a little bit about your father in some ways, because the generational bloodline does play a role. I don't hear nobody. I'm talking good.
Amen.
Nobody saying nothing.
Amen.
And this is kind of what we're trying to do in some ways, is eliminate generational curses. We want to take the blessings where we get them, but eliminate the curses.
Amen.
By understanding that identity is so critical to who we are and to living a good life. Wait a minute. Let me go a step further. If your sexual relationship causes you to lose track of your identity, then that relationship is unhealthy.
Yes, I definitely understand that, Father.
I'm gonna say it again.
That's right.
If your sexual relationship causes you to lose track of your personal identity, then that relationship isn't really good for you. And you have to take it as something intimate, but sexually intimate, but move on. Right? I'm gonna tell you a story right here about a monkey. Can I tell you a story about a monkey?
Not the signifying monkey.
Yeah,
trying to get the peanut.
Monkey told a lie one day. No, I'm just kidding. I know that story. But I want to tell you about a story about a monkey who lived in a circus. Say a circus.
A circus.
But he was a prisoner there, and the monkey couldn't get out, and the monkey had a taste for freedom. There was something in this monkey, and he was getting fed 3 times a day, and he played around with the other monkeys who were incarcerated with him. And some of the monkeys had good time too. They didn't mind being incarcerated. But this particular monkey right here, he wanted to taste some freedom. Say freedom.
Freedom.
So one day, when the trainer wasn't looking, Franco, this monkey right here jumped up. He jumped out of the cage and broke and ran out of the circus. And this boy was so fast, he made it. He made it out of the circus. And he moved across the land, hither and yon, trying to get as far away from that circus as he could. But then the monkey ran up on some railroad tracks. Now, he was familiar with them because the circus traveled on the railroad tracks. So he was familiar with them. He just figured when he got up to the tracks, what he would do is leap over them. When the monkey got up to the track, let me tell you what he did now. He jumped up, whoa, and leaped over the tracks and came down, and somehow he caught his tail in the track. So now the monkey is working. You know, the monkey, hey, Tony, look at the monkey trying to get his tail out. Look, he's trying to get his tail out, Franco. Look, he's working, the monkey working, trying to get his tail out of the tracks. Now, he finally pulled so hard, boom, he fell back and had cut off his own tail.
Wow.
And the monkey, he realized, I'm free. He was away from the circus. He was out of prison. He was gone away from all of that oppression. He lost his tail in the process, and he was on his way to freedom. Somebody say freedom.
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 Yeah, I don't hear you loud enough, though. Somebody say freedom.
Freedom.
Yeah, I like it like that. But then all of a sudden, Duval, the monkey realized, if I just go back and pull one more time, I can get my tail out of the railroad track. And look, hey, Bradley, and the monkey went back and he pulled and tugged, and it looked like it was about ready to come out. But then out of nowhere, one of the fastest moving trains known to man shot by and cut the monkey's head off.
Oh, hell.
And the moral of the story is, don't lose your head over a piece of tail.
Uh-oh.
Man, I wish I could have recorded that.
I don't hear nobody, but I'm teaching good tonight. I don't hear nobody now. I think I got used to this stuff. And if y'all messing around here, I'm gonna go ahead on and preach the whole thing if y'all mess with me tonight.
We in there with
Amen.
We here, Pop.
So see, what I want you to understand is that the third source of the third major challenge that you must face, the third challenge. Somebody tell me, what was the first challenge?
Identity.
That's good. What is the second challenge?
Intimacy.
Good. That's excellent. The third challenge is finding a source of strength.
Okay.
Somebody say that with me.
Finding a source of strength.
Now, see, I'm going to go back to the story about the pop guy who got put out of his woman's house. He lost his tail.
Right.
Now watch this. Now he don't have to lose his head, but if he don't find a source of strength and goes back trying to pull on that tail, it's gonna knock him for his head too. Oh my God!
Preach.
That's right.
Finding a source of strength is one of the 4 challenges that we must face if we want to live the good life. Finding a source of strength. Now there is strength in you. And so to the extent that your physical body, you can exercise it or walk it or work it out or any of those things, those are good things. And I don't want you to hear that I'm not talking about that, because that is important. However, what I'm really talking about here is finding a source of emotional and social strength that will carry you for a lifetime. One of the things about POP is that we've created over the years, we've created a community that can have a conversation with an intimate conversation, you can find your source of strength from the right pop guy. But now watch this, watch this. One of the things I also realized is sometimes the pop guy you end up being friends with is the one who's weak like you. The one who will sneak and have a drink like you. The one who will be chasing the tail like you. The one who never can hold on to his job like you. You mess around and find the wrong pop guy. It's wrong for your big picture, but right for your personal needs. And when you do that, you don't realize, but you're choosing down from what is available to you.
Right.
I'll give you another example. If you go to church, and it's a big church, all the gossipers sit in the same section. Now, there's nothing, nobody tells the gossipers to sit there, but all the gossipers find a way to sit in the same section. The liars, they sit in a section by themselves. You know, the true believers are in the same section. Now, nobody puts up a sign, but somehow these people find each other. Oh, wait a minute. And so what I'm saying to you is, when you're trying to find your source of strength, don't turn to somebody who is as weak as you are in that area. You need to turn to somebody who's stronger than you are and pull down on that strength.
Preach.
That's right.
Preach on, Pop.
And each one of us has strengths that the other one do not have.
Iron sharpen iron.
Right now, you know, Jim Reason has just retired from his job. Now, I think this is his second or third retirement. How many, Jim?
Well, I was involved in a reorganization after 20 years with an insurance company, a really popular and powerful insurance company. And I had to, I retooled a little bit. I took about almost 2 years of college then, and came out the other end with some new skills on top of what I had already. And
so how many retirements is this for you? The second or third?
This is really the first, because the when I went through that reorg, it was just a period where I was so busy, and I worked while I was going to school too. And then directly after that, I came back into the workplace. So I've never really taken a break from either learning or working. The only break that I've had has been due to illness. So if I wasn't sick, I was learning and working.
But here's my point to that, why I asked you that. Because James is the one that is online who has more work experience than I do, right? Now, I worked for Hennepin County government for 18 years. And then I've been here now since, well, really, since 2005, I worked both jobs. But I'm telling you, if you want to model yourself, you got to listen to me carefully. Listen to me carefully. If you want the job to work for you, you have to demonstrate that you can be counted on. Now, what happens in a job is that they lease you out. When a job rents your services out for 8 to 10 hours, listen to this. For 8 to 10 hours, you need to try to give that job everything that you can in order to build the character that you need for the job to give you what comes next. I'm going to wait for all the amens to die down.
Amen.
Amen.
Now,
Amen.
Listen. If you won't give your all to the job and give it with character, then the job will never be anything more than a slave, a ham sandwich. But if you give yourself to the job and present yourself, your character well, that job will create a pathway for you to the next job.
True.
Each job you're at is an assignment that's temporary. Don't you make it temporary until the next opportunity comes your way. Why am I telling you this? Because for guys like Lewis and Larry Harris, who just came
I'm
out of
here.
prison, and now you're in your job, you're getting ready to get into your job. Don't go to your job and then get with the wrong crowd. Some people over there are clowning on the job. They show up to the job, but then they're jailing while they're there.
Yeah.
When you show up to the job, then show yourself approved. Have your good language there. Make sure you're not cussing like a sailor, that you're not smoking in the people's property. You're not getting high on the job. You're not drinking in the parking lot on lunch break. Ain't none of that stuff new. Don't be thinking you're doing something slick because you went out on the lunch break and took a drink. You ain't the first monkey who went out for a piece of tail. Come on now. Yeah, that's right. And look, be mad if you want to. I'm just trying to help you tonight.
I get it in.
So when you get there, show yourself approved at whatever job it is in your living situation. Show yourself approved. Show yourself a good neighbor. Be a good neighbor to the people who are around you. That will create a source of strength. Say a source of strength.
Source of strength.
A source of strength is number 3. I didn't come to number 4 yet. Wayne done added a piece. We'll work with him. Watch this, because we're getting late. I'm gonna try to get this to you right here. Number 4 is coping with racism in America. Now, racism doesn't just apply, to Black and Hispanic or Native American. It also applies to gender choice and all these other things, that people discriminate against you for who you are or who you say you are. And watch this. No matter who you say you are, because we understand that identity is your greatest source of strength. Identity, if you know who you are and you really know that, then you can stand on that and not be confused, even when riffraff will come and try to intimidate you about your choices or about your decision of who you are. But your decision about who you are means everything. Watch this. You must cope with the racist dynamics of American life. It just is a fact that there's an undercurrent, and now it's been heightened. Even before our current commander-in-chief, it was present then, and you have to cope with that piece. And so now, in my day, those that came ahead of me would say, Shane, you always got to be better. You got to be smarter. I didn't understand what they were talking about. And it took me a long time before I went back and picked up that source of strength from my grandparents. I didn't get it from my father or even from my mother at that time. My parents abandoned me. I was raised by grandparents and much older than me, but they were loving, very loving people. And they loved on me. And my grandparents keep me so sharp. I was so sharp every day. My grandparents, they dressed me every day. All y'all know, I might be one of the sharpest guys in the town if I want to be. And the reason why is because my grandparents, they put that in me at a very young age. And it's something that stayed with me throughout my life. But my point, what I'm trying to share with you is that racial issues will happen. Discrimination will happen to you. I'll wait for all the amens to die down.
Amen.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
Listen, but when it happens, it all depends on, especially on your job, it depends on how are you going to handle it. We can get physical, or you're gonna bust somebody in their head, and and not that they don't need that. But the truth of the matter is, especially on the job, that's an incorrect way to handle your problems.
Dang. So do you want to
Wait,
add in?
James, one more second. Let me just get this out and then you can come on. It's an incorrect way for you to handle your problems. And so you have to use your mind and use your language to protect your spirit in those discriminatory places. And that becomes a psychological strength that you must have to survive in the work world or in the lifestyle that we live here in America. Go ahead, James.
I think I just want to get your opinion on discrimination being the twin brother almost of racism.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Because okay, like I just came from an environment where it was predominantly female. Okay.
Right.
And I feel that hostility on that platform was parallel. There, the racism and that it was walking side by side.
Oh, absolutely.
The female edge trying to always get credit, be at the forefront, be the one, you know, and then when that head would turn away, they present a racist card also. So it was like we talked before about the challenges. The challenges might wear different faces, but they're always there. And sometimes they feed off of each other and cause even a more complex scenario that you have to be, like you said, smarter and stronger and have greater character than they ever could imagine.
That's powerful. And the discrimination piece is right there, man. And it really keeps people away from achieving their goals. What I'm saying to you is that these four psychological strengths, people will discriminate against you. They'll make you feel bad about your decision about who you say you are. But you can't, just because they feel that way, you can't surrender your progress, to naysayers. It's really because they don't know who they are that they can then say you're not who you say you are.
And really willing to do anything to keep it being known that you got the upside of what they're trying to, of who they're really trying, or who they should be trying to be. You got the more legitimate profile than these people that spend their time and energy on discrimination and racism. It should be some sort of
that's really
legitimate
well said.
profile for success instead of all of that rigmarole.
And see, this is what causes us as pop guys to have to think about, how do we grow ourselves? How do we deal with these four psychological strengths that will help us endure throughout our work life and our social life without feeling threatened by everything? You know what I mean? I'll give you an example now. I live out in Robbinsdale. I have a neighbor, a younger guy in his 30s. He lives with his mom. He's a biker type guy. He's got a conceal and carry. He carries his pistol out in the yard. He's very angry, right? And I have my family right there. We're concerned about this guy. Even though we've never done anything to him, we've actually supported him and his brother in their schooling and these other things when they were younger. But now that they've grown older, they've taken on some of these other dynamics from an outside world, right? And so they don't have these identified psychological strengths. The four psychological strengths are identity. Who am I? Intimacy. Who can I talk to that can be supportive? Finding a source of strength that's going to help you get through it, and dealing with and coping with discrimination and racism. We've got to be able to deal with these things in order to progress. And Donald Amos just checked in for the first time Give Donald a big hand because he finally came online. Yeah, and we're so glad that Donald could break into the 21st century and show his face online. We appreciate you, Donald. And man, can give us an update on you and anything that you can tell us about Curtis would be great.
All right. Curtis called me about a week and a half ago, and he said that he went to dialysis and passed out when he got home. His daughter was there, and they panicked and called the police. The police called the ambulance. Ambulance took Curtis to the hospital, and then from the hospital they took him to the nursing home.
Wow.
He said that he sounded pretty good. I said, when you coming out of there? He said he don't know. They got to make a decision on that. He's still going to dialysis from there.
Right.
3 times a week. Now I tried to get his number, his daughter's number, but I was in a hurry and rush for time. So basically that was my fault. I should have just stayed there and got that number. So at least I could stay in touch.
Right.
But I went over there the other day and she wasn't there. So, the last I talked to Curtis, I told him, I said, man, we're concerned about you at Pop. Everybody's asking about you. Please check in with me. Don't let no bunch of weeks go by and we got to worry about you.
Right.
So I'm looking. He called me the other day too, Shane. I missed the call because I had just got a job and I was at work and I couldn't answer the phone, right? So, last I heard he was cool. But I'm gonna keep trying. There's no visiting at the nursing homes and the hospitals. They don't allow that.
Man, they got that nursing home is blocked off like a prison, man. I've been over
They
there.
don't allow you to visit the hospital neither.
Wow,
You can't visit people in the hospital no more.
Yeah.
Not right now.
It's rough. Donald, how about you give us an update on your job search?
I got a job. I'm working on the 20th of this month.
All right, give some love right there, y'all.
It's a maintenance job.
That's all right.
All right.
I got the job. I owe that, to y'all for helping me. Tyree and everybody was helping me. And I just got it. I was happy. I just started on 20th. I missed 4 days of the pay period, but I'm good with that. I'm in there, so I'm working it, man. I like it. It's maintenance job. It's over north on them apartment buildings off Humboldt and Ocean Highway, right on the corner of the plaza.
Yeah,
so it's right by my house.
Oh yeah,
I love
man.
it. I love it, man. It's right there. I can ride my bike in good weather.
Yeah, that's in the neighborhood. That's all right, Donald. Congratulations, man. I'm really glad to hear that.
Hey, we came by. Me and my wife came by your house yesterday. Went bike riding by your house, and you wasn't there, so we just kept on rolling to the dairy queen and went on back home.
Oh, thank you, man. Yeah, give us a little call first, and then
Oh yeah,
we got bikes. We got bikes too,
Oh yeah,
Hey,
I like that. That's cool.
Sis, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hey, Sylvia,
Can you hear me?
Yeah, Rhea, check in real fast.
Huh?
Check in.
The reason why I'm late is because I had a little dilemma. It's over, but it took me out of my character, and I don't like going to that dark place like that where I can let somebody take that power from me. So I had to go upstairs and take a couple deep breaths. That's why I'm late. But I never miss y'all. I'll never miss it altogether.
Okay, so
That's
so
right.
somebody was trying to clown you or something like that, or what's happening?
Yeah, I'll call you.
Okay, so you didn't punch nobody. You didn't punch nobody, did
I'll be on speed
No,
dial.
I,
I'll
did,
be on my way.
no, I didn't punch nobody, but I was out of character. I let somebody steal my joy.
Oh wow.
No, we can't hear that.
Well, it's good that you understand it. Sherrod, I ain't heard nothing from you, son. You all right? Check in real fast.
I'm good.
Good. I see your woman back there bringing you a big old plate of spaghetti, boy. She gotta start thinking about feeding the group if she gonna get down like that.
Hey, you hear him?
I need some spaghetti too.
No, I'm working at the VA hospital in St. Cloud. Just got a little contract to get down there for 2 weeks. So
Man, that's beautiful, man. Get that contract to a hand right there. We're going to get your money, man. That's good hustling right there. See now, look, the street life you were living really was covering up the fact that you could hustle for more money legally and get done, and nobody looking for you.
Yep.
Right. That's beautiful, man. You see Duval up there, he's sound asleep, God bless him, but he got his mask on and everything. We praise him, appreciate him. Duval, you gonna be all right, son?
Yeah.
Okay, I want to quickly review. Somebody tell me, what are the 4 psychological strengths that you need to help you get to your good life?
Well, identity, intimacy, finding a source of strength, and racism.
And discrimination. Racism
and discrimination.
Man, that's excellent. Give Tony a hand. Hey, I'm gonna buy some movies from you. On the strength of that right there, I'm gonna buy a few movies. I might need a kick. I'm gonna get a kick from you just because you did that. Listen, look, we're gonna get out of here. We're gonna get out of here for tonight. Patrick, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Pop, you know I'm still here.
Are you there, Pat?
Yeah, I'm here, Pops.
You know, Pat,
I'm trying to hope the thing start out.
I wanna go and
Lord have mercy, girl, you and all that. You know that.
Hey, excuse me, Cal. Excuse me, sir.
Give me 1 minute. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Patrick, all of us want to share our love for you, and we're so sorry for the loss of your father. And I know you want to go down south and this and that, and we may not be able to get out like we always do. But what I want to say to you guys is, in the month of May, we're going to be heading toward group as usual. Maybe around the 3rd week in May, we're going to have group as usual. For those people who want to come in, we're going to do the temperature test at the door. We will have masks if people want them, and we will also be online like this, so we'll be doing both. But our goal is to try to transition back. If you're sick, stay home. Otherwise, we're going to start moving back toward our former operating strategies. So I just want you to know that we're going that way. But this has been great, and you all have been great. I miss everybody. I think I get more out of group than y'all do. But Tuesday night, man, I'm supposed to be someplace every Tuesday night, and if I'm not there, man, it does something to me. Anyway, I'm gonna get out of here and let y'all. We're gonna finish by reading the pledge. Please repeat after me. I will.
I will.
Balance my family values.
Balance my family values.
With my goals.
With my goals.
I will.
I will.
Exercise wisdom.
Exercise wisdom.
What I choose to eat.
What I choose to eat.
Read.
And do.
Hey, something just hit me though. You know what? Now, Pat, I don't know how you're gonna do it, but we would be willing to come up with enough money to get you a round trip bus ticket down there if you want to take the bus, or whatever that comes up to. If you're gonna drive, we would give you that same amount in cash so that you could pay some gas. We could come up with that. And we might not be able to hit you like we used to hit, but we can do a little something to let you know that you are loved. And if you want to get down there and be with your father or to send them on to glory, then of course we're going to try to do something.
All right. Well, Pops, I'm definitely going to catch the bus because I don't think I can handle the road.
So say the name of the town again.
No, Claude. Well, my sister said catching the bus, I'd have to catch it to Memphis, Tennessee. But they're in Crossville, Arkansas.
Crossville, Arkansas. Wayne, look it up. We're gonna have Wayne look it up and figure out what is the cost to get there, and then we'll get back to you. I will.
Okay, Pops. I definitely
I
appreciate
will.
that.
Strive to make all relationships
Strive to
Strive to make all
Strive to make all
relationships
relationships
win-win,
win-win,
a win-win,
win-win
no deal.
no deal.
or no deal.
I will,
I will,
I will,
under every circumstance,
under every
under every
under every
circumstance,
circumstance,
maintain a positive attitude.
maintain the
maintain a positive attitude.
I will
I will
I
I
will
will
enjoy my life,
enjoy my
enjoy
life,
my
enjoy
life,
my life,
even with COVID-20,
even with
even
even
COVID,
with
with
COVID-20,
19,
with a sense of humor,
with a sense of
with a sense of
humor,
humor,
while taking advantage of my opportunities
while taking
while
advantage
taking advantage of my opportunities
and learning from my misfortunes.
and learning from my
and
mistakes.
learning from my misfortunes.
I will
I
I
will
will
act upon circumstances
act
act
upon
act upon
upon
circumstances
rather than have them act upon me.
rather
rather
have
than
them
have
act
them act
upon me.
upon me.
I will,
I
I
will,
will,
on a daily basis,
on
on
a
a
daily
daily
basis,
basis,
be proactive with my goals.
be
be
proactive.
be
proactive
proactive with my goals.
I will
I
I
will
will
always protect my wisdom,
always protect my wisdom,
my health,
my
my
health,
health
and my happiness.
and my
and my
happiness.
happiness.
Right. And remember now, our happiness inside of COVID-20 is still our responsibility. And you got to be looking for ways to find your happiness inside of this. Sis, don't let the Joneses get you down. We still got a lot to be thankful for. Is that right or wrong?
That's right.
Right?
Amen.
Yeah. I will
I
I
will
will
stay principle centered,
stay
stay
principle centered
centered
maintain a positive circle of influence.
and
Maintain
and
a
maintain
maintain
positive
a
circle of
positive
influence.
circle of influence.
Now, see, this is what's important about this is if you fall down, then sometimes what you look for, if you're ashamed of your mistake, you look for other people who have fallen too, and you run to them. The drinkers run and find the drinkers. The smokers find the smokers, right? The sex addicts find the, look for your population. Look to get out of that population. If you're stuck, then you need to reach up, not down.
Right.
I will.
I will.
On a daily basis, daily learn.
On a daily basis.
Daily learn.
Daily learn.
Daily learn.
Commit.
Commit.
Commit
And do.
And do.
And do.
I will
I will
act according to the POP Leadership Institute.
act according to the POP Institute.
Be productive in my community
Be productive in my community.
and my private life.
And my
I want y'all to think about how can we do something to serve the community as POP under this COVID-19 20. What is it that we can do? Somebody get creative and think about how we can be helpful to somebody else. It may be just the seniors who live in the building that we have right next to us is a senior building. These guys are at risk. How can we be of a help to them? But it might not be that. It might be something else. I need y'all to think how we can be of service to other people. I want to tell you that I love you. I'm leaving you for right now, but I'm not too far away. And each and every one of you know if there's some kind of a trouble or some joy, I'm just a phone call away. If you can't get me, you can get Tierre or get Wayne, and we're going to get right back at you because we love you here at POP.
Pop Gat for life, baby.
Okay.